The first thing that I'm going to do is Mr. Price said that he had to leave us, and I want to give him an opportunity. Many of you have asked about the Jodico project. Many of you have wondered about what was going on. I'm going to lay the groundwork for Mr. Price and say this. The Jodico project is alive. The Jodico project is moving forward. The Jodico project is not dead. Please understand this, first of all. The city of Stockbridge saved the Jodico project. That project was been around since 2014, maybe a little bit before that. Originally, the project lay with Henry County. It lay there forever, and the previous administration did nothing to assist the developer to move it forward. The developer then came to the city of Stockbridge for assistance because they were at wit's end because they could not get any movement, did not understand why anyone would want to turn down a world-class project bringing upscale and quality retailers to their community. They came to us in 2016. We annexed them into the city of Stockbridge. We thought we had annexed them successfully, but guess what? Henry County took us to court, tied up most of that time between 2016, 2017 in court. They won the first round 2017 on a technicality, right? It's kind of hard to explain to you to just say it was like this far, literally, maybe a matter of feet. They said it was contiguity, which means that one part of our city limits didn't exactly line up with the actual property. So we contemplated, we strategized, and if you know where the Hardee's is on Jodico Road, everybody know where the Hardee's is on Jodico Road? The Hardee's operator at Jodico Road annexed into the city. So that allowed us, the Stockbridge city limits already came down to the top, the north side of Jodico. But what it allowed us to do was to jump over Jodico and then extend down and close that mere feet, I don't know how many feet it was, gap, to close it because it was a technicality, it was fixed. That allowed us to re-annex the property. We're celebrating, right, Mayor? We're giving each other a high five. We got it. He made the motion, and I'm like, yeah, here we go, right? He was excited. I was excited, too. Lo and behold, the card drops. City of Eagles Landing proposed. These people are like Jason. They just keep coming back from the dead, right? We think we got the last nail in the coffin. They come back again. We thinking to ourselves, oh, this ain't going anywhere. Who would possibly take half of our city, right? Right. You all probably thinking the same thing. Who would dare take half of a city? That has never been done before. The legislature would never do anything like that, right? The committees would never pass this. Got out of committee, right? It'll never pass out of the House. Got out of the House. We're going to stop it in the Senate. The Senate is a deliberative body that thinks things through seriously. It got out of the Senate. Governor Nathan Deal, his legacy, he would never do that, signs the bill. But you know what? We looked on high, right? And we went to war because it was not meant to be. In my eyes, we won it in the best way possible, at the ballot box. We won it at the ballot box because of each one of you and the efforts that you put in. Give yourself a hand.
There were several key members of those ballot committees sitting right
Several key members of the ballot committee sitting here. Arthur Christian sitting here as well. We have, I'm sorry, what's your name? Ms. Blaylock is here. Several other members of the committees are here. Raise your hand if you was on the committee. Catherine's here. Call your name. Say your name. Call your name. Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Sir, I know you were right there with her, right? Come on now. And right back here. All right, Christian. But we thank each and every one of you that sent an email or did anything. Catherine, because Catherine, okay, I'm not going to go without Catherine. Catherine, go ahead. Catherine sends me an email yesterday. Jodico is on WAVE, right? She took notes, sent me the notes, and said, this is what's going on, Mr. Councilman Alexander. And, this is what we're all about. Citizens pitching in, doing whatever it takes. But I want to make sure that we thank everybody. And I want to give Mr. Price an opportunity to talk about it. But please believe when people come to you and they say the city of Stockbridge has not done anything, it hadn't done anything over Stockbridge, we haven't done anything with the Jodico project. If we've been under duress and we've been in court and we had half of our city at stake, how could the project possibly move forward? Inside Government 101, all of these projects, and this is nothing confidential, every project like this requires contribution on the part of the city or city government, county government, or whomever. Could we literally give them any of your money not knowing that it would be in the city limits? Would that have been smart? No, it wouldn't. So we couldn't do that. Now that we know it's going to be in the city limits, we're pushing forward with everything that we can possibly do. Mr. Price.
Thank you, Elton. And I'll be glad to answer questions. A little bit about the project. It's known as Jodico. Now it's known as Everly for the sign. It may be known as a different name in a month. I don't know. That's up to the marketing people, of which I'm the designer. I don't have anything to do with that. So I can't comment really on marketing stuff other than rumors and innuendo I hear, which I'd be glad to comment on. People's concerns that I've talked to have always asked me, when is anything going to get built out there? We've seen you cleared all the trees. Please know that over the last, I got involved in this project doing surveying work probably about 4 years ago, and they've probably done $3 or $4 million worth of grading work alone to even make that site presentable for the mixed-use type development that needs to be on it. The great thing about the developer that I'm working for, he has little or no debt on the property, so everybody coming in and buying is going to have to pay the top-notch price. And from everything I'm hearing on residential products and everything else, it's going to be high dollar, which is good. The area needs it. Needs to keep going that direction. It'll probably be a place for both senior development and millennial development. I can envision that. We kind of poke fun at millennials in my office because I got several that work for me, but they're kind of easy target these days. But in their defense, there's not a lot of places for young people, college graduates, professionals to live in Henry County. They all want to live in Brookhaven and the new mixed-use developments in Brookhaven or Smyrna or those places. And the south side of Atlanta as a whole, and this covers everything south of I-20, really doesn't have anything true mixed-use development. You can say over in Peachtree City that the avenue's not mixed use, the avenue's commercial. That's it. Okay? We have that in Henry County. And we've had commercial developments for years, but we've never had a mix in an appropriate area that a lot of people could walk to their shopping centers, they could walk to the grocery store, and so forth. I think that's the grand scheme. It always has been for this development, even before my current client got involved. He's actually the second client that I've been involved with on this property. So, and hopefully he's the last. I don't think I can take a third. But there's also been quite a few road improvements done out there. We've already built about, I'd probably say 1,500 feet of road. You have to actually drive in there to see it. But the road, there's a road that already has been constructed. It's not open yet. Because we're actually doing some revision to the road that was actually submitted to the city about 2 weeks ago. There's actually another piece of the road that's got to be built. You kind of see a temporary road there off Jodico that kind of veers off to the left. It goes back to the RV park. we had to put that in to satisfy the RV park because that's the only way in and out of it. So the other road that's there is going to be closed and we're redoing it. So we're redoing that roadway and I'm actually working on phase 2 of those roadway plans right now, along with phase 1 of the residential development because a lot of commercial clients, the commercial retail market, as everybody knows, is being run online now. Amazon doesn't open stores like Macy's and Dillard's and everybody else. So the retail market has changed significantly, really in the last 10 years. It's more of a smaller retail and more of a, I kind of foresee it, and I think my clients do, as an entertainment restaurant venue. And I think that's something else that, especially if you go to restaurants, I'll vouch for that, that the area could use. And I think it can support it. And that's the key. Southside gets a bad rap. I grew up on the north side of Gwinnett County. I see it. I know it. I've been down here longer than I was up there. I've been down here 20 years now. So I'm not that old, so at least I don't think I am. But 20 years now, and Southside, we call it the Southside stigma, but that needs to start going away. And this development can be part of that. It can be part of that. It'll be the first development of this kind south of I-20 outside the perimeter of 285. It'll be true mixed use. Everybody can say, oh, we have a mixed use development. There's apartments over here, and then we've got a little bit of commercial area over here, like down at Jonesboro Road. That's not really mixed use.
Will it be as similar to Atlantic Station?
Well, you're not going to have the tall buildings. I wish we could. The time for that probably would have been about 25 years ago. I think there could have been tall buildings here. As a planner and a civil engineer, I think there could have been a lot of that here, but the land planning of that was pushed aside in lieu of other things. A prime example of that, and the reason it can't have tall buildings, is because although I've heard interest from a 7 to 8 story deal, possibly, but I don't know where that's going. I have no idea. I think more like you're going to see 4 or 5 story low rise deal. Very similar to the Brookhaven development that's next to Old University. It probably has 6 story buildings. I don't think this will go to 6. It could. But I think you're more likely going to see 4. The city's approved for 6. They have to approve the architecture, of course. But the architecture is probably going to be a themed type development. A specific theme to that, a theme to the street signs, a theme to the landscaping. Everything will kind of merge together.
And talk about the team that has been put together and some of the outstanding individuals that Jeff has brought on board in order to move this project forward.
Sure, he's got some additional partners in there. A couple of guys that used to be in land acquisitions for Chick-fil-A. Very talented people, know a lot about marketing, retail development. They've gotten involved recently with him to help market. He's also hired a firm out of Atlanta to help market the development. He still has a lot of the input because, I'll be honest, from an opinion standpoint, once again, Southside stigma, the last thing you want is an Atlanta firm to come down here and say, you can't have that. That's too good for you. It's not. You got to change the mentality. You have to tell them, no, it's not. That's why and honestly, I think Elton hit on it. That's why that land, I think, has sat there for so long. It's prime property. It's right there on Jericho Road. You get on Jericho Road and go up 75, at that point on 75, and you can be at the airport in 20 minutes. It doesn't get any better than that. And, there's a lot of reasons that haven't been developed at this point. But development has started. Continue on that about the road development. We've also extended sanitary sewer, which was not on site. We've extended that over the last 2 years, probably some 2,000 feet, and it is in the ground now. But that has been done. So everybody needs to be aware, you drive by it and say, oh, it looks like they just took the trees down. No, there's a lot of stuff that's been done in the ground. There's storm sewer, there's a huge detention pond on the low side of the site, down near the RV park that's been built, that's been there for a couple years now. So there's been a lot of work done on that site. It's just, I know everybody, I mean, I'm anxious too for it to move even further along. But due to some deals with the estate of Dr. Chin, if anybody knew who Dr. Chin was, he passed a year or so ago. That created some problems because he owned it. There's just been slow going. In a development this size, it's literally, the land is probably valued by itself $30 million. Nothing goes fast, especially when you get out of the big city of like Atlanta. Nothing's going to go fast. It's going to be a little bit slower. Should have been a little faster than it is, but I'm not going to argue with that. And neither would my client. He'd like to go ahead and get it going and get it up.
Talk about the phases. I think Jeff kind of mentioned that we want to see some rooftops over there first.
They do. The marketing people are right. I mean, that's just kind of a rule of thumb. You're building this kind of development. You've got the commercial retail, even if it's a small grocer or a craft beer place or a restaurant, Papado's restaurant. I mean, I'm throwing out names. I haven't talked to any of these people on names. You throw out those people and throw out those restaurants, they're just not going to come plop a place down and say, yeah, you've got this nice master plan, mixed-use development, but you haven't built any residences yet. I'm not going to plop my place down there, and then you change it to what does Henry County often change their developments to? Industrial. So industrial doesn't serve a restaurant. So, yeah, they got to have some rooftops. And we're working on the first phase of that right now. The first 90 homes right now we're working on getting designed. Hopefully we'll have those to the city for their plan review by the end of next month in March. Probably take a couple of months, hopefully a couple of months for the city to review. But faster they get that done, the faster they get on the ground. First phase is probably going to be a townhome product that there's not really a lot of high-end townhomes in Henry County. In fact, I dare say there's none. This will be the first one. This will be the first one. The church that I spoke to over there, it's been a couple of years. The church right next to the property, Community Bible. I met with their staff. Actually, they invited me out to talk to them about the project. I didn't realize how many of them there were. Kind of took me by surprise. But half their staff was interested in owning a townhome over there, so they could walk over to the church because that's where they were. We've got a church school over there, so I haven't actually gone back over there and talked to them yet because I wanted them to get further along. In fact, I've kind of been hibernation for about 18 months talking about it. This is the first time I've been out. But no, I think that'll be the first phase of residential. And the next phase is probably a multifamily component that'll have 250 units in it. And then the phase after that will probably be a senior development that will probably have between 150 and 200 units in it. It will be a mixed-use senior development. One of them will be a building. We do not know the size of that yet. The building could be a little bit taller than the 3 or 4 stories I mentioned. It will be, you'll have a mix of senior care. You'll have some hospice care, obviously, and then also you'll have the senior independent living, where it's more or less age targeted, 55 and over type stuff.
So what are the stores?
Well, I can't really, I've heard a bunch of names, but and I'm doing maps for the city right now for their review. And honestly, the city's under the same non-disclosure agreement I am. I can't technically discuss it. I'd be glad to, but all it be rumors right now. Rumors.
It's coming. Whatever it is,
It's coming, and I can assure you, it will be all over the papers. It will be all over the news. You'll see these guys cutting a ribbon. I can assure you of that. They will be cutting a ribbon, and it will get going soon. I think the first thing you're going to see though is the road construction will continue. That'll be the next things you'll see out there going on. The next 2 roads, we're going to finish out the parkway. GDOT right now is currently designing the remainder of the parkway from Jonesboro Road all the way to Hudson Bridge, where McDonald's is now on the west side of the interstate. That's where it's going to come out. It's going to be a 4-lane parkway. My client and me, I'm designing it, is going through the Jericho property. We're doing that section on his dime because I think GDOT's not gonna be finished with their construction until 2022. I mean, we can't wait.
What's the price point on the townhome?
I don't know yet, but if I were to guess, it would probably be starting at $250,000. That's starting. And you know what that means? 259.9, and then everything else like. But that's just a guess on my part. I don't know. There's a lot of people looking at it right now, and a lot of builders, varying from custom guys to larger builders. So, but the price, I know the developer's charging for the land. It's going to necessitate a better product. And that means, you know, if there's some multifamilies out there, and there will be some multifamily out there, that's in the plan, it's been in the plan the city's approved in the state. The rents in that will be the highest probably on the south side of the land. But that should be expected for this kind of development. You've never seen it before, the rent should be the highest. And it's kind of a gamble too. When you're doing that kind of rent and you don't have that, but I don't think it's a big gamble, because I think a lot of professionals down here, they don't have a place. I've got 4 engineers that grew up, 2 of them grew up here one of them grew up in Stockbridge, one grew up in Locust Grove. They both went to Georgia Southern. They moved back in, I hired them about a year and a half ago. And they lived at home for about 6 months. And then instead of moving somewhere else in the county, where'd they go? They went to Midtown. I mean, it's because they felt like they had nothing to do down here. And for some people, that's okay.
We don't have any restaurants.
Let's get Mr. Thomas's question.
I'd like to ask, what about green space, maybe some type of park? I know we got a lot of land space, but I don't never hear about green space or.
Well, there's a natural wetland and stream on the site that is going to have quite a large buffer around it. There's going to be a trail around it, walking trail. There's going to be a multi-use path along the road, the main park road that's 10 feet wide. That'll be for both bikes and pedestrians. On the other side of the street, there will be a 5 or 6 foot wide path. So there's going to be paths everywhere for the building. Built into the facility, I mean, we've got various plans right now. All of them show what's referred to in the plan over the village green. It's kind of a gathering area. I mean, there's, you know, a big, massive, it'll be kind of a smaller scale down park. More of a passive park. Passive means you're going to grab your lunch at one of the, hopefully, the smaller restaurants in the town center. It's going to be a town center probably with offices above, commercial on the bottom. Okay? You don't see that anywhere down here either. Like I said, this is all different stuff, and, you know, we're excited about it, but I don't know, hope that answered your questions. And of course, the amenities for the residential is the town center. That is the amenities. You can walk to all these places. I mean, like I said, that is the amenity in itself for the residents. And I'm sure, you know, the multifamily will probably have a pool and all that. Senior stuff, the senior development will probably have its own amenities, probably a built-in salon and what have you. But I'm sure there will be some kind of fancy salon in the town center too. That's the kind of stuff you see in those places. You'll see like a gym of some sort. You won't have it. It'll probably be LA Fitness size, but it'll probably be pretty big. You'll see stuff like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you just touched on that point. I was going to ask about the senior housing.
Yeah.
Would it be something like on the scale of what was just built, Red Oak Villas?
Talking about the one on top of the hill?
Yeah.
There may be a component of something like that. I don't know how that was funded. I don't know if you guys even know how that was. That DCA funded? I'm not sure. Because some of those that are DCA funded are funded for people on retirement or fixed incomes, they call it, and some are Section 8. I can tell you 100% sure, actually 110% sure, this is not Section 8.
Right.
Nothing. It can't be, it's too expensive.
We have one more question and then we'll change the second.
Who's the developer?
Right now, the Chin family, I think, still has a piece of it. There's a group of guys in it. Like I said, there's some guys that have retired recently from Chick-fil-A, and then Jeff Grant is also a partner in it, as well as some other guys, general contractor who's a partner in it. It's a mix of people. There's 4 or 5 of them.
I cannot deny your question. You worked so
I
hard
don't know
for
if
us.
you can, I don't know if you can speak to this yet or not, but you mentioned the interview on, I think, Wave Radio. The developer mentioned during the interview that he had met with the city and with the city council, meaning Stockbridge City Council, as well as the county members of the Board of Commissioners. Can you update us on the status of the board's offer, if you will, to build the conference arena center? Is that still, they had talked about de-annexing.
Right, exactly right. Well, you did talk with the city representatives. Alexander was not there. I was, along with Mr. Knight, who were present for this. He had some conversations separately with the county. So he had that conversation with them. I will tell you right now that the conference center is something that is not zoned for us. It was not in the original agreement. And obviously, I would say right now, something that we would have to discuss, but right now we're not in favor of. I would on record, I say that we're not in favor of a conference center. The hotel is something that could potentially happen, provided that this council will want to do that and we'll work out any details with the county if we want to work through that process. And provided that you citizens say that that's something that you would like to see as well. But I'll say the conference center, without a doubt, is probably totally out. Mr. Knight, do you have anything else to add, sir?
No, other than the fact that, of course, those conversations were held separately with the county and the city. The county did not approach the city prior to this proposal for a conference center. And obviously, it's something that I believe that the city might entertain if there were some conversations and understanding of what the vision was from the county. Obviously, feasibility studies would have to be done to make some determination. But we, the city, and I think that's good for the record business, we would like to see the Joco project to develop as it was originally planned. And that's for a very strong mixed-use development, commercial, retail, office, and residential that would serve not only citizens of Stockbridge, but the entire region.
Let me add to that, is that was exactly what we're willing to work together, the city and the county. I think we can all say that. We would sit down at the table and talk with anyone. I think the issue was how it kind of evolved around without our involvement. But sitting down at the table, it's amazing I think we all want the same thing. We want best-in-class development. I think there's no doubt they want that too. So we just need to sit down in the same room and talk. But make no mistake about it. It's going to be in the city of Stockbridge.
That was basically my question.
Without de-annexing any land.
So will the Jotico project include the upscale hotel also?
There are plans. There's a hotel on the site, but I mean, it's just a hotel. It's not and it could be an upscale hotel. The land costs us so much, you're not going to see a Motel 6 there. Apologies to Motel 6. You're probably just not going to see that because of the cost of the land. And it's probably going to have to be multiple stories because the land, even though we have 155 acres, I'd probably say about 25 of that is wetlands and stream buffers and so forth that's really largely unusable. So, I mean, it's really high dense. And when you have something that dense with a hotel, you're going to have to go vertical. So, I hope there is a hotel because that gives the city tax revenue.
Yeah,
And also, if a hotel goes up, I mean, it could have some meeting facilities in it. I mean, nothing like what the county, I don't think, is talking about, but it could still have it. But, there's always been a hotel on the plan map, but it hasn't had most of our plan maps haven't had a convention center on it, if that's what you're asking.
One of the things that Mr. Grant also mentioned in that interview was that the county's original proposal. They had been approached by someone who wanted to build a sports arena for minor league NBA team. And that was the first I'd heard of it when he mentioned that. He said that's what the county were interested in. Then it seemed to develop into a convention center on top of that. So I'm just wondering, is that ever been? Okay.
That's not been brought to us, and that's something that we'd have to sit down in the room and talk about and kind of figure out what the deals is. But like I said, make no mistake, it will be in the city of Stockbridge. I thank you, Mr. Price. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving us that update. Now, I appreciate that, and you know, I think the last thing that I'm going to say about this, and I'm going to make it crystal clear, the development team, Adam, Mr. Grant has said without a shadow of a doubt, they're not aiming down here. They're aiming up here. You're going to have to jump through the high hoop to get in. The gate's not going to be liberally open for providers that just want to come in, that want a good space. You're going to have to be a quality retailer or a quality restaurant in order to get into the development. You will not be. He said to me, we don't want to do it just a development. We don't want to have a development with a gas station up front and fast food restaurants. We got enough of that. So now that we truly have it and the team is working on it, the city is committed to it, give us some time. Because as you know, over the course of times when things went forward, these retailers and restaurants perhaps were not going to just wait indefinitely. Now that process has to start all over again, and they have to re-engage them. But when you hire the representative who headed Chick-fil-A's land acquisition to be on your team, you got somebody that can pick up the phone and call almost anybody in America and say, this is what I got, and they're going to take the call. Relationships matter. I'll close that up. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is very serious, and it is planning the future of this city. We developed a comprehensive plan, but we need your input, and the city's going to have several SPLOST meetings to talk about it, but I kind of wanted to kick it off and to hear what you think. In November, there's going to be a new SPLOST come up. SPLOST is Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, and that is the 1 cent that you pay at the register to fund special projects in the community. Those projects come in many forms. We'll have to decide whether that's going to be a youth center, whether that's going to be a cultural arts center, senior center, different aspects, whether we need an Olympic pool in the community for swim meets or sidewalks or fixing the traffic problems that we have in the community. All of those things fall up under SPLOST. Well, most of the roads, the major highways, fall up under GDOT and the county. There are city roads that we could possibly impact and make some improvements on. But what I really want to discuss with you all tonight, and understand this, right now the city has about $15 million in SPLOST 4 money, and we're spending some of that as we go along, so that might fluctuate a little bit. So we have money in the bank under SPLOST. A lot of those SPLOSTs are allocated to different areas. We have, at the end of 2018, we had $18 million in reserve funds. Our annual budget is about $10 million, right? We have $18 million in the bank. So that's almost 2 years if we didn't collect another tax dollar. But you all don't pay any city taxes. All the taxes that you pay are to the county. You don't pay any city tax. What's driving those numbers up? I-75, I-675. Location, location, location. That's how we know, and especially I always said in that battle when we're dealing with Eagles Landing, those opportunities are coming. I spent my time during that battle letting people know what businesses were coming, because it wasn't about the change of the name of the city. It was about the location, and it was about the proximity as a gateway to the city of Atlanta. We're adding businesses on a rapid rate. right now the economy is booming in our city. It is a good time to be in business in our city. Our unemployment rate is under 5%. It's at an all-time low. So we're great economically, we're great fiscally. But what I want to know is, what do you think? And I want to hear from you all. Which one would you like to see first? You want to see the Cultural Arts Center first? You want to see the Youth Center first? Or you want to see the Senior Center first? Which project out of those three? The council has kind of got together. We've had conversations on what we like to see. But in the meantime, we want to hear from you all, because the SPLOST is going to go on the ballot, and we have to put those projects on the ballot that you're going to vote yes for, right? We don't want to put projects on there that you're like, I don't really want to do that. So go right ahead. It's right behind you, Catherine. She placed her hand first.
I would desperately love to have a swimming pool, a community swimming pool in the city of Stockbridge. My daughter is a high school teacher, and she's assistant coach of the swim team here in Stockbridge. You know where I'm going. Yep. They always have to go to Clayton County to have their swim meets, to practice. We need a community swim pool, like ASAP.
I agree with you, and that community pool could possibly go in the youth center, right? When you build the youth center, you incorporate a gym, you incorporate the Olympic-sized pool, and then it brings foot traffic into the town. Catherine, your thoughts?
I was just wondering, when you say Cultural Arts Center, what are you envisioning as part of the Cultural Arts Center?
We, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, direction of the council, we actually went on tours of several facilities in the metropolitan area. We went up to Beaufort, been to their community center, it's fabulous. Sugar Hill, we went to Southwest Atlanta Community Arts Center, we went to Riverdale, we went to Peachtree City, Fayetteville area as well, and took a look at these various community cultural arts centers, and basically began to take components of each one of those that we thought were features that would be nice for something that would fit here in the city of Stockbridge. We have an architect at TSW, Turner, Stranger & Walsh, one of the top architectural firms in the Atlanta area, that's developed some concepts for us of the Cultural Arts Center. And the way it is envisioned at a high level is having a theater that would be conducive for plays, things of that nature. Also an art center that would display art. And then components like a museum, also an area for other forms of art like ballet or culinary arts for young people. And so we looked at all of those and tried to put something together again at a concept level at this point that would, we think, would serve the citizens of the city of Stockbridge. Now we're, again, at the concept level. We still got to work through some things and obviously need to refine that, but we have a very solid concept of what that could look like for the city of Stockbridge.
I worked for a number of years as museum curator in the Chadron Cultural Center, which was a center much as you're describing. We had a performance art theater, we had an art gallery, we had a community museum, and associated with those, we had all the relevant workspace, storage space, educational spaces. We ran after-school programs for all of those components, professional theater as well as community theater. And there was something going on at the Cultural Center 100% of the time. It was well supported by the community. And I think that would be an excellent idea here, because there's just so many areas of the community that you can serve. There was a week-long theater competition from the high schools, that all the areas would come and they would perform a play, and then with the judge would go on to the provincial level and the federal level. These are all aspects that involve different aspects of the community in one place. I for that.
Well, one of the things that we want to do is to do that. We have a lot of history in Stockbridge. Many of you probably know that Daddy King was born and raised. So this is really the birthplace of the civil rights movement right here, and graduated to Atlanta. But you know, that history needs to be captured, and it could be captured inside the Cultural Arts Center in form of of a museum. It could be, definitely could be. Yes, sir, go ahead.
How about, someone mentioned about swimming pool, how about activity center, incorporating basketball courts?
Absolutely.
Tennis court?
Absolutely. That summarizes what the youth facility could be. All of those components could go in the youth facility. There could be a gym in there. There could be a tennis court in there. And you know, we could add tennis courts in different areas of town. As a matter of fact, we just refurbished the tennis courts over at Gardner Park. And they are beautiful. And they're the best public tennis courts in this area by far. They're in immaculate condition. And Gardner Park, if you do not know, it's on East Atlanta. There's 2 parks there. One's the county park with the baseball field, and the park next to it is the city park. That's Gardner Park. And the tennis courts sit right up on the hill off of East Atlanta and right there near Publix. And it's open to you. And actually, as you said, if we need tennis courts, there could be tennis courts put in various parts of the city. That's up to you all and what we do. Now,
That would just be my number one of the issue.
okay, so that'd be your number one. You taking notes, Mayor? We got 2 votes for the city. Got 1 vote for the cultural art, 2 votes for the youth center. Go ahead, Art.
Question. Who do you envision, whether it's the youth center or the cultural arts center or the senior center, who do you envision operating? City or city contracting out?
Well, I think that we're still at a high level, but in terms of the youth center, it could be a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. It really could be. You know, now the facility. If you build a facility, you can partner with them, and they do a great job. If you ask me, that's what I would do, but it would be up to the council to determine whether or not we did that. We developed a Parks and Rec department, the Parks and Rec department could run it, but it could be either way. I think the idea now is to decide which one. I think we kind of want them all, but if you had to rank them, how would you rank them?
I would put the youth center first, just because they need something to do, something positive, and especially because it can be melded with education, after school enrichment. And especially for a lot of the schools, the middle schoolers, there is no after school enrichment unless you play sports. And in Henry County, you can't play sports until you're in the 2nd grade. So I think for me, I would see youth, cultural arts, and senior center.
And I think that would be a good selling point with the youth center and the swimming pool, because if you're talking about building high-end, homes, and you want to attract that type, people aren't gonna say, oh, well, my kid's gonna be an Olympian and gonna be on the swim team, so you need to tell me, y'all have a swim pool, I'm gonna have to take him to Clayton County to swim, so that would be a good selling point right there.
Believe me, I've been at that at the school board, at the county commissioners. It is unacceptable for this community not to have a public pool. Now, folks will say, well, my subdivision has a pool. I'm sorry. That's private space. That is not that is not public, and that is not Olympic style for a competition pool. That's what we need. Yes, sir, go right ahead.
I 100% agree with you. I think it's an insult to everyone who lives in this county that we have to decide which one we want. I'm just saying, I 100% agree with you. There should have been already a pool, and the culture center is really important. But honestly, if you're going to try to get people, you need both of those, and they're really important. And I wish the county would everybody would work together to make this happen. But I think it's important to have the youth, because the youth can also have a theater in there too. So, as I hate to decide which is better, I think youth, because you can really make an impact on a lot of kids in the different activities. But you can put theater in there too. And I think it's a shame we don't have something great where we all can just go down and see. I mean, you have the Inver Players, which is a great place, but and you have you all saw the one in Stockwood. But there's talent here. But like I said, it's a shame that we have to decide on that.
Absolutely, I understand. This is a city meeting, but at the same time, we live in the county too. And we don't have a city tax, but each and every one of you pay taxes to the county. And I'm gonna just say this and from my own standpoint, this. There is nothing that says that you cannot put a county facility in the city. Okay? Nothing. Cities and counties partner all the time. Where are the people at? In the cities. That's where the density is. And that's where we got to be able to work together and say, okay, well, instead of putting the facilities out in the middle of nowhere, how about putting the facilities where the people are, right? Now, I will say that there is a $15 million art center being built up in Fairview. It's going to be built it's being built right now next to Fairview Elementary School. So it's going to be state of the art. It'll be able to hold up to 1,000 people for big events, major events. But it's under the school system, so there'll be limitations on what you can do in there. You can't just have anything. It'll have to be related, or it'll have to be approved by the school system. So there'll be some things that you won't be able to have there, where if you had private control of it, you could kind of do a little bit more than that. But again, that's spending $15 million on an art center right up on Fairview Road by Fairview Elementary, which is literally about 10 minutes from us. Yes, sir. You're next.
Oh, okay. You've spoken a lot about the amphitheater and where it's going to be located. We understand that, near the courthouse. But in as far as the youth center, senior center, and the cultural arts center, have you guys identified specific locations within the city limits of Stockbridge as to where you're going to put these three?
Well, yes, there's an answer to that. There was a building, the bank building on North Henry Boulevard was actually demolished. I'm going to say that I said I wanted to make sure that we move forward with a project very quickly. And don't tear this building down until we get to that point or we decide it. But we have done that. And we tore the building down. The property right now is demolished. That whole campus, it's on North Henry Boulevard, just down from where City Hall is to the right. That's where the Cultural Arts Center is going to be. That whole campus from that property where the old bank was to Burke Street right there. That'll be the whole campus. And the facility, right now I think the estimates on a facility like that may be $8 to $10 million in order to build that. And again, we're at the initial stages where we're getting community feedback from you all to decide which direction to go in. On the youth center, the city did acquire a property on Ty Street. The property, if you come down Ty Street, there's a large property there to the left-hand side that has been vacant. That community is impoverished. If you want to understand what poverty is like, it's hidden in plain sight. If you go over there, that community needs a shot in the arm because there's abject poverty over there, and they need something to regenerate that community, and that facility would actually do that. There's a great need over there. That community, they don't have a public pool in their subdivision because there is no subdivision and there's poverty. So there's need outside of what we commonly think of what is available. They need these facilities. That's one of the things that we fought for to get our library open on Saturday. You might think I got my internet at my house, but if you have a homework assignment and you don't have access to internet, now you can go up to the library. It's open on Saturday from 1 to 5 o'clock, and this mayor and council took that charge because the county would not open it. We spent $10,000 of our own money to open it up. It put so much pressure on them, and it was packed every Saturday. Now the county pays for it. That's leadership, ladies and gentlemen, because we would not accept no for an answer, and we wanted to move that particular portion forward. I'm sorry, sir, did I answer the question? Now, in the senior center, there's no property been or identified for that, but again, properties readily available in the community should we decide to go in that direction. Janetta Roberts.
I would like to see the senior center. That's one thing that I especially would like to see within the city of Stockbridge. And then the youth center and the cultural art would be nice. It would be nice if we get all three of those.
Absolutely, and understand this, we could probably have all three of them.
I wanted to ask you, what the Highway 138 redevelopment, what would that involve?
Okay, let me make sure that we're gonna get down to that. I want to make sure that we're done with the art center. I want to pick on somebody. If you're quiet, I'm gonna pick on you. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want.
I would like to see a youth. I have two teenagers, and I think they really need somewhere that they can go and exert some energy in a positive way.
And one more. Go ahead, man. So in this particular area, if you had to choose, which one? How many of y'all would put the youth center first? Raise your hand. Okay.
Now that youth center encompassing the pool.
Right. And with the pool.
That pool is a big deal because I realize, I mean, for us to go to Clayton County.
It's a shameful.
And let's be honest, who has the most money, Henry County or Clayton County?
Yeah, absolutely. So next, so we got to. I think we got to. So, would you put the Cultural Arts Center? If you would put the Cultural Arts Center next, raise your hand. Would you put the Cultural Arts Center next?
Versus what?
Versus the Senior Center. Which one would you put? Okay, I'm just saying. Well, if you now between the two, if you would put the Cultural Arts Center second, raise your hand. If you would put the Senior Center second, put your hand. Okay, thank you.
There's a reason for that per se, because seniors are very active during the day, Monday through Friday. So wherever you put a senior center, it sparks economic growth and development because of their activity. And in my opinion, I would target a senior center second.
You have the senior center on there, with this, is that Fairview or Ellenwood, and then the one in McDonald, that Henry, the bus takes them?
Right, there's a rec center that's unincorporated in Henry County, that's in Fairview, but there's been something expressed about the citizens want one here in this area.
Which one you want?
Right.
Probably the most imperative first.
So which one you see? Which one you see? Which one would you say?
I was going to say, I thought in his development, they was going to have a senior center built.
There's a private development where there will be senior housing, but that's not open to the public, not a rec center. She's talking about a senior rec center.
Now I have a question regarding the youth center. Is it possible that it could be more so a community center versus youth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Multi-use center. So it's to kind of incorporate both. And we're going to have, go ahead.
The Senior Advisory Board in Henry County, and we have 4 senior centers, and one, they have the Heritage, Bear Creek, which is really kind of closer to us, and we have Locust Grove and Hidden Valley, which is in Stockbridge, but it's kind of far. And I'm in District 2, Commissioner D. Clemens' board, and one of the things that's happening is we're not getting a lot of people coming in from this area going to the Bear Creek area, so we're trying to get people to go over there. It's very nice. They're very good food.
Where Bear Creek is the one?
Bear Creek is in Hampton.
In Hampton, yeah.
So that's another option, but it would be
far
great.
That's a little far for
It is far. We agree with that. But
Right. Now, what we want to do is, like I said, we're just discussing what we possibly could do. And again, right, there are senior centers around the community. There has been a desire expressed to have one in the city that was a city facility versus having a county facility. Of course, the county has provided others as well. But I think we kind of got that. And what you need to do is, I'm going to close this by saying this. You need to reach out to the mayor. You need to reach out to me and all the council members. Send them an email or call them and let them know what you want to see. The decisions on how your money is being spent is being decided. You need to get involved and get at the table, and you need to contact these individuals to talk about what it is that we need to do. Nick.
Say this, we actually going to have a retreat later on the 28th of this month and March 1st to talk about a bunch of things in the future. So in that note, if you want to send us a note, send it to us quickly so we get an idea. I'll take some notes on all service, but we'll be sitting down talking about some things in the future, this year and out years, coming up there for a 2-day retreat.
That's an excellent point. Now's the time because decisions are going to be made at the retreat about the future. So now's the time to contact us. We always have an open door policy and feel free.
Let me plug this in before we close this out. Just a quick second. The issue, I always see her bring up a senior center every meeting that we're in. I own a 7-acre tract directly beside Publix, and I've been tossing around an idea of a mixed-use development or a senior center. So that issue can be easily resolved. So, and I'm more than willing to work with the city of Stockbridge in as far as that property is concerned, and it's in the smack dab in the middle of the city of Stockbridge, directly beside Publix, which will also bring economic development to the public shopping center as well.
Absolutely. If you're in the meeting, need to meet with us, the mayor, myself, the city manager, and get your information so we can continue that conversation. So thank you for coming. We need that. Okay. All right. So I appreciate that. And again, that's part of it. Some of the other things that we're going to be deciding on is sidewalks, multi-use paths. Many of you all enjoy going down to the Atlanta Beltline, or you enjoy going up to the Silver Comet Trail. Those are multi-use trails. They're 8 to 10 foot wide paths. We have a great path trail over here, which is Flipping Road, where you can take that trail 1.5 miles over to Memorial Park, where there are special needs equipments, playground equipments for children, and basketball court that you can enjoy as well. Now, out here along Walt Stevens Road, there's segments and gaps where there are no sidewalks at. This is the time for this community to say, we can do it, is to have a path right down through here. It would be great if we could have that 8-foot path out there, go all the way down Walt Stevens Road and connect to the trail. How awesome would that be? That would give us about 2 or 3 miles. And I don't know how many of you all have been literally 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles down the street to Clayton International. They have a beautiful trail over the lake and a boardwalk down there. Those are the amenities. If you've never been there, you need to explore them. On the other end, there's Panola Mountain State Park. They have a 33-mile trail network that is in the next decade will actually connect Stockbridge to the Atlanta Beltline. That's why it's so important when you hear that they're working on the Southeast Trail Network in Atlanta right now. That's where our trail is going to connect. So literally, you will be able to take a bike or jog if you're an ultra athlete from Stockbridge all the way to Atlanta without getting on the street and with a multi-use path. Imagine you see people now, and it's unsafe to be walking down this busy street, right? We got to prioritize those types of things. When you're communicating with your representative, you got to let it be known that you want to see these sidewalk projects move forward. The city passed a master trail plan. Can you talk about that?
Right. The master trail plan is something that was passed a few years ago. Obviously provides linkages, proposed linkages throughout the city. Obviously, it's something that we are seeking how best to fund. But ultimately, what we want to do is try to create a trail network that provides opportunities for people in various parts of the city to be linked to parks, other recreational opportunities, and provide that amenity that obviously is something that people can use for health consciousness, and also to provide opportunities, mobile opportunities to our recreational facilities.
Absolutely, and that encompasses the entire city. We had charged a consultant with coming down and designing trails. So there is a concept with trails already in this area. We just need to be able to move forward with it and to show the initiative as leadership in order to do that. In addition, new parks will be decided. Should there be a park in this area? Should there be a pocket park in this area? Pocket parks are little small rest areas that are beautified, right? Now, if you think think about it, right? Lots of things happen in those little pocket parks. I know a lot of people look at that monument over in the Eagles Landing area, which is the clock tower in the park. A lot of people don't like that, but you know who loves it? Me. It stays beautiful all the time. It does. When you come into that community, it's always meticulous. It reflects the community. There's nothing that says that this community right here couldn't have something like that. Whether you wanted to do something grand or not, this is the Red Oak community, right? How nice would it be to have a branded sign that says you're entering the Red Oak community, right? Right here. Those are the kind of things that you can do when you develop pocket parks throughout the city. Those are the kind of things that we can move forward with, and hopefully as we expand and move forward with our comprehensive plan, we will identify small areas of pocket parks that we can locate here. You know, right down the street, you have that area right in front of the school. Now, it would take, the city could transfer that into a park if it was the desire of everybody in this community. Or anywhere along this strip, over there in the wooded area across from Ingalls, right next to Ingalls. There can be little small parks in this area, or even a grand park, but it's up to the residents to decide and to say to your council member and the staff, this is what you want to see move forward, right? You see the grand park that they have up in Fairview? It's very nice. There's nothing that says that the city can't have a park just like that. Now, during this Eagles Landing debate, there was a discussion about whether the Eagles Landing area needs a park. I live in the Eagles Landing area. There's nothing wrong with having a park. The part was, you can't take my city to make the park. Okay, no, we're not gonna do that. But if you wanna advocate and that you want a park in your area, we can do that. And there should be parks strategically placed, because parks should be very convenient. You should be able to walk out your front door, walk a short distance or to an area, a recreation area. And that's why I like why Ronald brought up the green space. Green space requirements in a community are very important, extremely important in establishing your community to make sure that you set aside space in each new development as they come along to make sure that that is included in it. And as when they come to council, I'm going to ask for that. I'm going to make sure that we have those requirements in there as well. Mr. Knighton, will you go ahead and do your part of the presentation real quick and talk about public safety in the community and some of the reports and then the actual public safety in the community?
This came in and had this document, and expensive, I'm not being repetitive, I'll just highlight a couple of things. As you can see, this document provides a comparison from January of 16, 17, 18, and 19. And you can, this is from the Henry County Police Department, which of course serves the city of Stockbridge. And as you can see, for the most part, by and large, crime rates for the same period in the previous years has gone down. As you can see that far right column, the number of incidents have gone down, the percentages has gone down quite a bit. Calls for service between 18 and 19, which is fine. But the number of incidences of both felonies and misdemeanors, by and large, and some significant numbers in certain areas, have actually gone down in the city of Stockbridge. And so that's something I think is very, very important to mention. Oftentimes, sometimes we'll see on the news where something may be reported as in the city of Stockbridge, and in fact, it's unincorporated Henry County or it's Clayton County, and it's still labeled Stockbridge. We have in the past tried to work with some of the media sources to ensure that is not the case, that it's not reported that way, but sometimes it is. So these are the actual statistics from the Henry County Police Department regarding figures, comparison figures from previous years. And as you can see for yourself, for the most part, crime rates have actually gone down in the city of Stockbridge. Now, as always, we want to eliminate and reduce crime even more, so we encourage you to stay in contact with the local police department to report suspicious activity. ensure that the police department obviously is able to respond to anything in particular neighborhoods that is questionable or even report crime. Quite honestly, the two areas that have the most incidents, if you will, are the two Walmarts. Theft by taking or shoplifting, Walmart on North Henry, the Walmart on Hudson Bridge Road. Now, having said that, you might expect that a large retail outlet like that would obviously have some crime associated with it, unfortunately. But Walmarts, both of them, also provide quite a bit of tax revenue in Henry County as well. So, those are the flashpoints. Those two areas are flashpoints, and that's just basically shoplifting and things of that. But by and large, the message is, as you can see from the statistics, that the crime rates are down in the city of Stockton.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Talk about code enforcement, and we go to a 7-day calendar.
Right. Probably in the fall of last year, result of direction by the city council, we went to 7-day code enforcement. And many cities have just 5 days, Monday through Friday. We did have 7-day code enforcement. And I want you all to also know about See-Click-Fix. That's an app, that's an icon on our website. If you see something that is trash, or litter, or broken down cars, or something like that, you can go on the website, hit See-Click-Fix, and that goes to the respective department. They'll write a report, and they'll be able to respond to the report.
So how long does it take you report crime?
If you report it on See-Click-Fix, or you report it to us by phone, or what have you, it should be a matter of just a day or two. If it's not, let me know. Okay? Please let me know.
Sure. And talk about litter is a big problem in the community. I'm going to transition after that. Talk about the city's efforts as we have litter team that goes out.
Yeah. The city goes out every single day, absent an extremely bad weather day. But every week the city goes out and provides them with a litter log. And basically the city will hit probably on an average 15 to 17 streets per week and pick up probably in the neighborhood of 50 to 75 bags of trash each week. Every single week, not every single day, picking up trash. Now, there's good and bad. One, we've got teams out there every week picking up trash. There's also a problem though. We have trash to pick up.
Right.
And so we have a couple of initiatives, and Councilman Alexander, I'm sure we'll talk about one or two here in just a moment, to educate the public that this is our community. Whether we live here, work here, play here, recreate here, go to church here, this is our community and it belongs to us, and people have to be educated about what a blight it is to throw out trash on the roadways. And so we have to hit that every single week, every single day. We have teams go out, my public works department, to pick up trash.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Next, I want to transition over to Keep Stockbridge Beautiful. Keep Stockbridge Beautiful is one of my initiatives. Councilman Thomas has Don't Trash Stockbridge, which is a program that he champions to fight litter in the community. They're both pretty much the same thing. Keep Beautiful is a nationally recognized program, and I could use everybody in here as a volunteer, okay? I have 2 volunteers right here with me. Ronald Thomas, stand up, please. Janetta Roberts, stand up, please. If you go over the Hudson Bridge Road, you will see that there are 12 small plantings of trees on Hudson Bridge Road. We've done that in 2 stops. First, we put down 6 trees. You'll have crepe myrtle, you'll have maple trees, and then your crepe myrtle and maple trees over there. And they'll grow up and they'll bloom and they'll provide beautification for that particular area on Hudson Bridge. If you go on the other side of the bridge, the Eagles Landing Community Association, which has nothing to do with the city of Eagles Landing, those citizens pay a $75 fee to the Master Association in addition to their homeowners fee, and they maintain Eagles Landing Parkway. They just spent thousands of their own dollars beautifying that area, going down from Eagles Landing Parkway all the way to Highway 42. I applaud those citizens because they're spending their own money, and because they do that, we don't have to maintain that. The city does not maintain that. They do as private citizens. And again, they have nothing to do with the city of Eagles Landing. That's the community of a master association. There's 8 or 9 communities over there, subdivisions. I live in that area myself, that pay that fee in order to maintain the area, to make sure that's why when you go over there, it's always well maintained. The city does their part, but they do their part too as well. And citizen involvement is very, very key. And if anybody would like to volunteer for Keep Stockbridge Beautiful, it's going to be a monthly ongoing initiative. We pick up trash. We do beautification projects. We don't come for the photo op. We come to work, right, sir? That's right. We come to work. We roll up our sleeves and we go to work beautifying our city because that's extremely important to us. But again, Keep Stockbridge Beautiful is an ongoing initiative of beautification and litter fight. Communicate that out. Put it on your Facebook page on a regular basis or your social media page. Please don't litter, because somebody's got to go out there and pick that up. Isn't it embarrassing around the holidays when you have company come to town and they get off at your exit and trash is everywhere? And they're like, wait a minute, what kind of community you live in? I'm embarrassed when I see that. I'm like, wow, I know we got to do better than that. It's our job as city officials, because litter is going to happen because we live along I-75. It is a blessing in that it delivers revenue. It's a curse in that people throw trash out. And people expect it to be clean. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And what do? We put $50,000 in the budget this year. Explain that.
Right. The Mayor and Council asked us to take a look at how we can better beautify the exit ramps at 75, I-75, and a couple of other ones, key areas. And so for the first time, we placed $50,000 in the city budget for 2019 to work on the beautification of those exit ramps. And so that's something that is a key feature of our 2019 budget.
Let me ask something. I know that around those exits, I don't know, the panhandlers or the people who be there, it's like, I'm not knocking what they do because it's all over the city. But whether we have to have the trash there, it seems like, it's not going to be in the trash cans or something that, or somebody come behind because it does look bad. So what are we going to do, or how can we just try to get a much of it?
Speak to the panhandle and what we're doing to put that. It's tough.
I mean, I know is it a law that they can't be there, or I don't know. That's why I asked the question.
It should not. And that's more of an enforcement issue. I've seen them, it's kind of hard. Sometimes they're there, then they're not there. They come and go, they move around, but it's more of an enforcement issue as well. And I think with respect to any trash that's being left, we need to get at the source of the issue.
Occasionally, they're even on, it's that non-sign where the poles is, they used to not be there at all, but occasionally they'll start.
I will say on this point that we passed an ordinance on panhandling and even with nonprofit organizations, because we had kids out in the middle of the street running that might have got hit by a car. Now you actually have to register if you're doing that. I'm not saying that necessarily applies to that, but that was a problem. I know a lot of y'all probably saw those kids out there in the middle of traffic. That's not safe, and you cannot do that. And you see that, please report that, because if somebody got hit, it ain't worth a few dollars for one of those kids to get hit out there. So yes, and do we have regulations about regulating panhandling and whether you can collect or not? When the firemen are out there, course, we want them out there, okay? They're permitted to do so, they get permission to do it. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Next, I want to talk about something very, very important. We're going to wrap up. You can go ahead and wrap up. Well, I'm sorry, you got 3 minutes? What I want to do is talk about Highway 138. Highway 138, there's hope. We have started to redevelop it. You see businesses there. You see that they just demolished the Chick-fil-A Dwarf House. They're building a brand new state-of-the-art Dwarf House, which is going to be only one of the third ones in the country, and they're decided to put it here, right? You see a new hotel that's coming right there at Highway 138, right next to CVS, right? You saw the new Wendy's that just opened? Yeah. That new Wendy's that just opened reflects the new standards in the city. Any building, commercial building built must have at least 50% brick. That's why the Wendy's have brick on it. You see the nice sign that they have out in front of Wendy's? It's not 100 feet tall, is it? It's about this tall, and it has a brick base, they're ground base. Those are requirements. We passed what's called the Highway 138 overlay. If you look in front of the hotel has a 10-foot walking path in front of it. Why? Because that is a requirement of the Highway 138 overlay zone. Those requirements are very important because you can't come and build anything. Developers jump just as high as you would have them jump. But if you raise the standards up here, that's what they'll do. Notice that the Wendy's, you notice all the vegetation at the Wendy's? Now I'm talking about a Wendy's, but everybody coming forward is going to have to meet that standard now. But isn't that property beautiful at the Wendy's? That is a requirement now. If you go over to Eagles Landing Parkway and you see the new building right next to La Hacienda and right across from the hospital, 4 new tenants are coming in there. Zoe's Kitchen, which is a nice sit-down kind of restaurant, is coming there. Jersey Mike's is coming there. And Moe's Southwestern Grill is coming there. Did you see how beautiful the building looked? Again, it's 50% brick. The lighting is required. And then connectivity. If you go in front of that Wendy's, you know, before you got to walk out into the parking lot to get to the sidewalk. Now there's a sidewalk from the business leading to the sidewalk so you don't have to get hit trying to get to the sidewalk. All of those are requirements that are put in place by the Highway 138 overlay. This council in this city is committed to making sure that we raise the standards along the way. We've seen This Is It barbecue come on Highway 138. The new Hibbett Sports sells the full line of Jordans. It sells a little bit of everything. And so instead of running to the mall to buy your Jordans now or to buy your Nike gear or your Adidas gear, go over to Hibbett Sports on Highway 138. They have a real full selection. It's a beautiful new store, and it's one of the beginning of what we're doing to revitalize the community and to bring it forward. There's a number of new businesses. Yes.
Excuse me, this lady has a question right
Yes, I have a question. Would there be any health food store chains coming into the city anytime soon, like a Sprouts?
Well, in essence, that's what we hope to attract at the Jodico development. We hope to attract the organic grocer into the area. I do understand that Aldi is now went to be organic, so there are organic providers available. We're hoping to hear very, very soon that we will be getting one of these in town, but I don't know of anything right offhand that's going to come up right now. But those are the type things. But see, when you come to a community, those organic grocers are located in a community, and when they get off the exit, they don't want to see trash everywhere. They want to see a higher income, and they want to see a well-maintained community, and they want to see high zoning standards. We're putting the things in place that they like, and that when they come here, they're pleased and that they see what they like what they see. That's how we attract them eventually. They're not here yet, but that is our goal in order to draw them in.
I have one question. The area that's part of Clinton County where all those low-end hotels are, I think Enterprise just put a building there. They look pretty nice. But that area where it needs to be cleaned up.
Well, right, technically, that again, that's in Clayton County, but I can tell you that Chairman Turner, I had a conversation with him 2 weeks ago. They're very committed. Now, you know, when you go up to Cumberland, Cumberland is cleaned up and governed by a CID. That's called a Community Improvement District. The government doesn't do that. The businesses in the area get together and they tax themselves. They pay an extra fee. That's why Cumberland always looks immaculate when you go up there. Town Center, the Dunwoody area. Those are CIDs. Chairman Turner is working on bringing a CID to there as long as the city wants to do that in Henry County as well. Hopefully we'll be able to partner in doing that. And believe me, they're cracking down in Clayton County on these providers for the hotels as well. So they're going after these providers and they're shutting them down. But as property values go up and increase in the area, what will generally happen is development will come in that will give them a nice little fee for that prime time location, because all of that along Highway 138 is 15 or 20 minutes from Atlanta. That's what's going to happen. The building where Big Lots is and Dollar Tree was just sold to a developer out of Florida. That business, their desire is to attract a better quality tenant. They're working on that right now, and they're trying to move that forward. You will see you saw the Jamaican restaurant is no longer there. There's several other tenants that will be leaving, because what is happening is, because it's such a beautiful area, the rents are going up. And in order for them to maintain that, in order to get a better quality tenant, they had to do that. You saw Value Village went away. Those are the kind of things that we're seeing in the community. So let's give it a little bit of time for it to move forward and to materialize in the things that we want to see. If you look back over off of Highway 138 behind the McDonald's, that's the Southcrest Business Center. They have medical providers in there that deliver quality service. There's a cancer institute in there as well as a provider that located there. So there are things that to be encouraged about, that new development is coming to the area and that we're turning things down. There was a storage warehouse that wanted to go over there. What did we say, Mayor?
We turn it back.
We turned it back. Things come to us that don't meet our standards, we shut the door on them now. And that's what you should demand from us, that we hold people accountable and that we do not accept anything and everything. We accept only the best in our community, and that's what we do.